Hello, everyone. Um, this is Harold coming back again, and this time I'm talking about the rotator cuff surgery that I had. I actually saw somebody do a video like this, and it helped me tremendously because I see that I'm not the only one that's going through this thing. So I thought I'd make one as well, a little updated one. I think the one she did was like maybe 7 years ago, and I know technology has changed, and probably a lot of the therapeutic measures have changed as well. So. And also to keep abreast for my own self exactly what's going on. And I met a few people at therapy who are trying not to go through what I just went through in regards to having surgery on my rotator cuff. And I will say this right out the gate: if you don't have to have it, don't have it. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but there are shots and there is therapy that can possibly get you in a good spot if you don't let it get too far. Unlike myself, I was dealing with physical, or should I say, rotator cuff issues for about 3.5 years, and I don't even know what happened. I had rotator cuff surgery, if you can really call it a surgery, back in about 30 years ago. And I know what happened then. It happened at work, and it was a fluke accident. But when the guy went into my shoulder, there were just two little holes he put, one in the front, one in the back, and he used some dissolvable tacks to attach my tendon back to my bone in my shoulder. And so that fared pretty well. I'd always continued to have problems, but I wasn't going back to have surgery again. So I just dealt with it and kept taking shots. Well, here I am in 2024, and I had a lot of problems. I mean, to the point where lifting my hand or my arm over my head was pretty painful. And to make matters even worse, it's kind of the same way on the left side. Sometimes it was worse on my left shoulder than my right shoulder, and then it would be a lot worse on my right shoulder than left shoulder. So both of them needed some correcting, or some fixing, some tacking, or whatever they need to do. But I decided to get the right one done first, and that's what I did. So did all the different preliminary x-rays and MRIs, and come to find out I had tears on my right shoulder, which I already knew that. So went to the doctor, and they scheduled a surgery for my shoulder. And unbeknownst to me, I had other problems that I guess they didn't realize until they actually got into the shoulder. To make a really long story short, when I got there and they did the nerve blocker, let me tell you something. A nerve blocker is, I don't know, some type of sedative or medication or whatever they want to call it, that they inject into the surgical site that numbs everything down. It does exactly what it says. It's a nerve blocker. It blocks the nerves, so you really don't feel anything. Well, I know I have to get another nerve blocker, and I'll tell you why I have to do that. But let me tell you something. You are talking about a painful injection. But why? Why is that injection so painful? I don't have a problem taking shots. I've taken shots between my toes and my ankles, under my feet, when I had plantar fascia surgery, and had I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years of problems with that. So I don't mind shots. I really don't. Don't like them, but I'm not afraid of them. But that nerve blocker, y'all, oh my gosh. I felt like a bear was clamping down on my shoulder, and I still don't know why that was so painful. But anyway, they did the nerve blocker, and within a few seconds, I couldn't feel my arm, couldn't feel my hand. So after that, they gave me, they put me down and did the surgery. I came out, no major issues, couldn't feel my arm, couldn't feel my hand. Everything was numb and whatever, bada boom, bada bang. It was done. They said that the nerve blocker would not wear off until, I think he said sometimes 24 hours, sometimes 36 hours, the nerve blocker would last. I'm like, okay, cool. I can go home, my wife can help me shower, I can get situated, eat a little food and all this and that. And the anesthesia didn't make me sick. I was cool on my stomach and all this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking, no problem. Sit down, get my iPad all situated, after my shower, and eat a little something, just relax, Stay on top of the medication, no problems. Y'all, why did this nerve blocker wear off in less than 8 hours? You talking about somebody going from King Kong to a wimpy baby monkey. Let me tell you something. That pain hit me so fast. I was like, I was getting ready to get dressed for bed, and my wife was helping me out and the kids were helping me out and all this and that. I was still a little bit unstable. And I started having a little feeling in my fingertips. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. Not already. It hasn't even been 8 hours yet. After that, it was like I don't know what you want to call it, but it seems like I can feel that nerve blocker releasing my whole arm. And I felt some pain I had never felt before. And y'all, I don't cry. My wife would tell you she's never seen me cry. My kids have never seen me cry. But I don't even know why. I started shaking as if I was in a Arctic refrigerator, just shaking and shaking and shaking and shaking. And tears were pouring out of my eyes. And it hurt, don't get me wrong. It was painful. But not to the point where it made me bawl like that. And I'm like, what the crap? I couldn't stop shaking. I was crying and telling them, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't even know why I'm crying. I don't even understand it. But I was crying. Come to find out, I found out later on because I did some research on this thing. I'm like, why in the world am I crying? This is bad. And I'm apologizing and telling them I'm sorry for crying and all this and that. Come to find out, when your body has experienced a trauma or you have a lot of pain that you might not even understand, that your body reacts that way. I never knew that. But anyway, make a longer story short. After the surgery, I don't know. They didn't start therapy until almost 3 weeks. Maybe it was 3 weeks and some change later. So I was thinking I was supposed to go to surgery, physical therapy the next day, but I didn't because of some paperwork issues with insurance. Somebody didn't send this off or send that off. So I ended up tracking everything down and we got the physical therapy squared away. I went, still had that pillow under my arm, that nuisance pillow under my arm. And I tried to go without it for a little bit and that just did not work. It didn't do well. So I ended up going to physical therapy every day for 2 times a week. Never missed an appointment. Always went, always gave it 100%. Well, after 2 months, still experienced a lot of pain. Now, mind you, when I left my job for the surgery, I told them, I said, guys, I've already had surgery before on my shoulder. I was back at work in 6 weeks. I said, this one might be a little bit worse. I'm a little bit older. So I said 8 weeks. I'm back, Jack. Full power, ready to go. I'm ready. 8 weeks passed, man, not even close. I still couldn't put my clothes on by myself. So we are now 8 weeks later, going back to the doctor. He said, okay, it'll be another 10 weeks. 10 weeks? What? So that 10 weeks passed. I went back. He said, oh, it'll be another 10 weeks. What? Now you're talking about, I don't know, this has been 4 months of intense physical therapy, going back and forth to the doctor, doing stretches and all this type of stuff. And I'm still not where I should be. I still can't reach my back from behind. I can't raise they call it flexion, raising my arms straight up in front of me. I can't get over 95 degrees. I'm like, the therapist and I are like, man, we're working vigorously on this thing to the point where it felt like she's snapping my tendons when she's stretching me out. And so just lateral movements, I can get up to about 128 degrees as opposed to 180 degrees. And in the front, I should be 180 degrees. I'm just like 95 degrees. So I don't know. It's starting to make me feel kind of down because I'm thinking pretty soon, I'm gonna need some change in that pocket. Something's got to give. So what the heck, what the heck is going on? So my therapist and I have a conversation. I call the doctor. We have a conversation. And so this past, it was December 3rd, 4th, or 5th, somewhere around that area. I had to go back to my doctor. And I'm like, Doc, what's going on? I'm not getting the progress that I think I should be getting, help me out here. And he says, yeah, well, we got to we got to check you out. So he said, lift your arm up in front of you. I raised my arm in front of me, did the best I could. I got it up to about 90 degrees. And, with help, I can get it up to about 95 degrees before that real stiffness and that pain hit me. And then I rotated my arm outward. I guess it's just called a rotation. I don't know what it's called exactly, the medical term, but I could, I did a heck of a lot better than when I first started. I thought that was pretty good. It should be about 90 degrees. I think mine was, 48 degrees or something like that. He was like, oh no, you should be farther along than that. What's going on is that you have an adhesion. I said, who? He said, you have an adhesion. And we know the term as frozen shoulder. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Come on, doc, what's going on? So he said, we gotta loosen it up. So now I'm waiting to go back to the surgeon's office. He said, I won't have to go into the surgery room. They won't be doing any cutting on me. And he said, but what we're going to do, we are going to manipulate the shoulder. So in layman's terms, that really means that they are going to stretch it past the sticking point and get the rotation going, get that full range of motion. So me being a dummy, I go to YouTube and I look at what a manipulation entails. I should not have done that, because looking at those videos have me absolutely terrified. For someone who experiences pain, just raising my arm in front of me 90 degrees or 95 degrees with great pain, significant pain, to see this doctor working with the patient who basically uses his body weight to force that arm to full range. And you can hear the stuff popping in there. Y'all, my legs got absolutely weak, and it wasn't even me on that table. I am absolutely terrified. I am terrified because in my mind, I'm like, the way it hurts now and what I saw this doctor do to this patient, I just know there's no sedative in the world, no anesthetist who is skilled enough to put me under that deeply that I won't feel that cracking and popping and stretching and pulling that I saw in that video. But anyway, it gets worse. I have to do another nerve blocker. Oh my gosh. Whatever it takes, I guess, whatever it takes. As long as I get full range and able to get back to work, I'll be in pretty good shape. But y'all, let me tell you something. When they went into my shoulder, they found out that I had an even greater problem than I thought. Not only did they give me 6 incisions in my shoulders as opposed to 2 when I was younger, but my bicep was torn, so that required 7 staples. Just an old man falling apart. And I'm like, 8 weeks to recover from that? My therapist told me, she said, what you went through, the trauma with your shoulder, is worse than giving birth. I said, yeah, right. She said, no, it's worse than giving birth. And if you're going to injure a part of your body, don't let it be your shoulder, because that is the most difficult body part to heal. So that's where I am right now, actually, trying to get this adhesion or this manipulation done so that I can get back to doing great things, man. I tell you, my screen printing and all that stuff has been affected by this. Everything has been affected by this, but we're still moving forward. I desire y'all prayers. But for those of you who don't have to have that surgery, don't have it. But if you do have to have it, go ahead and deal with it and get into physical therapy immediately. And when you get home, even though it may pain you a little bit, when the doctor says you can start stretching, start stretching. Get to that point where you feel that tightness, go a little bit beyond that point. When it starts to hurt, go a little bit beyond that threshold every single time, and you probably won't have this problem. Why I'm having all this scar tissue in there, I don't know, because I went every single day, gave it 100% every day. It was just that sticking point they couldn't get by. But anyway, that's my rotator cuff surgery tale. And I don't know, maybe I'll be back and let you know how it went. But I will be scheduling this surgery as soon as they give me a call, and then we'll go in and get this bad boy done. But the thing about it is, directly after the manipulation, I have to go to the therapist. So that same day after they do all that to me, even while I'm still in the nerve blocker, I I have to go to physical therapy so that they can continue to manipulate that arm. But here's the thing I'm worried about. Since that blocker wore off so fast, I'm concerned that I won't still be in that blocker. That blocker won't still be in effect when I get there. And I could be making a whole lot out of this, a whole lot of nothing. I don't know how I'm going to feel after I get done with that, but it just terrifies me to hear that stuff cracking and popping when that doctor put his weight on that woman's arm. It's diabolical. Diabolical. But anyway, we're going to rock and roll and move forward, y'all. And as we said down here in the Carolinas, y'all be blessed. All right now, peace and love, and Happy New Year.